Some time back, we were talking with a friend of mine, and he told me about a certain interview he had attended.
I had applied for a job, had been called back on interview. I went to the office.
Long story short, the interview didn't happen. They waited for a very long time until finally they decided to talk to the secretary.
She was honest with us. She told us to our offices that the heads of the organization had come with their quote-unquote people who would fill the vacant positions that had been advertised, and that these interviews are just but formalities to avoid audit risks and such.
One thing I'd like to say about getting jobs in Kenya is that it's very challenging. It's not as many job seekers expect it to be.
I've heard of instances where people have had to bribe their ways into job opportunities. It's not necessarily with money as it was in the case with our film. Sometimes it's sexual favors from young women and men.
The qualifications sometimes do not matter in these offices when you're going to look for those jobs.
When you go to an interview already, they just do the interviews for formalities because maybe for auditing purposes, so that when audits are done, it is clear, yes, people are called in for an interview, but in real sense, there are already people who were given the job even before it was advertised.
It's turning out to be a real pandemic, given how desperate people are to get jobs.
Because of the desperation and the big number of candidates or people that need jobs in this country, you find that it is bound to include some underhand dealings like corruption and all that, where people pay or bribe to get those opportunities because they are scarce and the people are many who want jobs.
It's really bad because it has become a rot in the society, especially now as people go around looking for jobs. We hear people say, ndo upate job lazima ukuwe na connection, and it's very true.
Umesoma, uko na all your papers, uko na CV, uko na everything, and you go looking for a job. It's like lazima you give something extra ndio upate your job.
This was the inspiration for Riddle Me This. A young lady has been called in for an interview. She doesn't get it because she doesn't have the wits the job requires. She gets multiple tries at the interview but never succeeds until she finally does what the interviewer wants.
This film is a representation of what people go through when they attend interviews for job opportunities.
If you get to go to the movie, you will see Tasha anaenda interview and amepewa chances kadhaa and she doesn't know what is required for her to get the job. So, and that's in a reflect na venye society iko sahi. For you to get something, you have to do something. You see, you give me this, I give you this. Before you secure yourself a job, it's either you have a connection or you have to pay for it.
The main character lazima alipeana envelope, a brown envelope, ndio akapata job ambayo walikuwa wanatafuta. So it's not about the interview or money. So it shows how the economy in the society is.
It's not uncommon to hear jobs costing money. It's common that nowadays when you call for interviews, it's almost expected of you to offer something.
And as much as uko na paper, tunaambiwa siku hizi lazima you know a someone who knows someone somewhere, si ndio? So inajaribu kudepict the wrongdoings zenye zinahappen kwa society.
Many people claim to have been expected to offer something in return for the job opportunities that they are applying for.
Most youths even right now have reached to a point where they no longer want to apply jobs anymore. People are educated, people have skills, people have a wide range of experiences through internships, attachments and everything else, but it goes to a waste. It has created a very big road and a very bad mentality to the youth because Sahi like mtu akitaka kutafuta job anajua mi by the way sijuani.
The problem with this is that you don't get the people that are passionate enough to do the kind of job or the kind of candidate that would want to work in a certain environment, because maybe most of the time you'll find that the people that are passionate with that job may not have money to bribe their way through.
The work delivery will kind of derail because this is not the right personnel for that kind of job.
It is very unethical, it's unprofessional, it tends to ruin the reputation of the organization that somebody is working for, because this is something that will come out eventually. People normally speak, and after receiving bribes, these guys will share this information with others, and you find that will actually ruin the reputation of a business or an organization.
Cases of nepotism are common. People offering jobs to their friends, or people who have played an unethical role to get a job. The organization ends up suffering because they have employees who are not qualified.
People connect their relatives, people take bribes, people give people jobs because of sexual favors, which is really, really sad.
It's very difficult to deal with these kind of situations. Reporting bribe is challenging, but I think one of the ways we can curb this is if it starts with the head of the organizations or the institutions.
There maybe should be a system where there's a correct check or there's a correct mechanism of giving these employments. I feel like auditors should actually critically go into the systems or the procedures of employment.
Through raising awareness within the organization, they can actually train their staff on the effects of taking bribes on the overall reputation of that organization.
A rotting fish begins to rot at the head. This is a line at the beginning of our film. If people at the top are actually against this behavior and they have a no bribe policy, a strict one, then I feel like it's one of the ways that you can use to level the playing field when it comes to job opportunities, so that everyone gets an equal opportunity.